All right, ladies, so it is Monday, August 28th, and I'm super duper excited for tonight's call. It is 9:05 and we spent the first 5 minutes totally laughing, and we've had this little party already, and Sarah hasn't even began to share her heart with us. So super excited for tonight's call. I don't really have announcements other than, you know what? Tonight's topic, it's more like a mindset call, to be honest. We are going to have Sarah just share her heart with us and share some just heart-to-heart Jesus moments. I know that we are all in a very different season. Oh, I don't know what's happening to, can you guys hear me good?
Yeah.
Good. Something happened to my computer. So we are all in very tough and different seasons, but we're hungry. And I think, you know, I had a conversation with Sarah earlier today, regardless of how we feel, regardless if sometimes we feel defeated or we feel like, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know where to start, I don't know what's happening, regardless, we're hungry for some change. We're hungry for something to happen. We're hungry because we want to help women no matter what. And that was like, let me tell you, it was, I'll lie to you if I tell you I had the greatest Monday, but talking to Sarah really, look, I'm showered and dressed. Like, she motivated me. Like, guys, look, like, I got off the phone and I was like, it's going to be a good call. Like, it's going to be an amazing call. Like, Jesus is going to show up because I feel it in my spirit. Having a conversation with her alone was just amazing. Hi, Danny. That's why my Zoom did what it did, because you last had the password. But okay, now everything made sense the moment I saw her face. I'm like, oh, she used my Zoom last time. It's okay, Danny. Don't worry about it. I just had a little confusion here, and now it makes sense once I saw your pretty face. Welcome, Danny, by the way. Welcome, Zelly. Welcome, Jocelyn. And so anyways, I'm just looking forward. I'm like rambling over here. That's how excited I am. That's when I'm excited. Sarah, my team knows this. When I'm excited, I like try to find a point to the point and another point. The point is I'm excited to have you. One quick thing about Sarah, and please correct me, 46 months?
I think 49.
49. 49 months in Success Club, and that's so encouraging. Let me tell you why. When we were on the phone, you know, I don't know much about Sarah, and I'm going to tell you one thing I do know, which, you know, Sarah, you know what I'm talking about, the conversation we had at Punta Cana. But 49 months in Success Club. Think about that. 49 months. She's a one-star coach. And let me tell you, she focuses on one thing and one thing only, and just helping women. Helping women. She doesn't care about rank. She doesn't care that she's not a 5-star coach. Will she want it one day? Absolutely, but that's not the focus. And God has blessed her business, and she's home with her 3 boys. She's home. Financially, she's able to stay home with 3 boys. She's just a 1-star diving coach. She doesn't care about rank. She cares about those souls that she's helping. And to me, that speaks volume. Because sometimes, and that's me, I had to have a come to Jesus moment in these months that I'm in my wilderness. I was so stuck on rank that you forget the people that you're helping, straight up. And so talking to her tonight was super encouraging. But why did I ask Sarah to speak tonight? Let me tell you something about Sarah. And I shared this with her at Punta Cana in front of her husband. Oh my God, how embarrassing. After I realized he's standing there, I'm like, oh my gosh. Let me tell you something about Sarah. Sarah is that one coach that I personally, if I was not a coach, and if I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I would see her on Instagram, follow her, guys, her Instagram stories, she doesn't polish up life. She comes so real, sweaty, holding one boy here, holding the other one right here, she is that real mom where it's like, this is my mess, and I love my mess because Jesus gave it to me. And she shows her faith in the middle of her mess. It's amazing. And so I saw her at Punta Cana a few months ago, and I'm like, can I just tell you, if I wasn't a coach, I would totally join you. Straight up. And so that's why she's here. Because I wanted someone that can speak to our team that I know God can use to ignite the fire that we want to have. Individually. Because we all have a different fire. We're all in a different spot in our business. And that's why Sarah's here. So I'm going to shut up, Sarah. It's been 5 minutes.
Oh, you're good.
And I'm giving it to you. Take it away. Thank you so much for being
I could listen all day. I'm like, when she approached me in Punta Cana, I was like,
I know. It was so embarrassing.
Me.
And then to the side, her husband
No,
right there.
no. You revived me, girl. We revive each other. That's what we're here. And that's actually one of my points today. But we just, I wanted you to just like hold me. So good for me. It's good for my soul. So yeah, she kind of told you a little bit about me. My name is Sarah Brooks. I'm in Colorado. I'm married and I have 3 boys, a 5-year-old, he just turned 5, a 2.5-year-old, almost 3, and a 1.5-year-old. So life is crazy for us. All boys, all bananas. Crazy bananas, but you know what? Didn't touch. Okay, moving on. Anyway, so I just, life is good. It's crazy, and I'm really grateful just to be here to speak truth to you guys, because here's the thing is the things that I'm sharing with you are the things that I'm walking through also. I went through it this weekend. We're talking about burnout, and we're talking about how to avoid it, but really more how to recognize it and get out of it, because we all have burnout. And so, but I kind of want to share my story first, because I think that stories help connect us, and it empowers us, and it also gives life to your story and helps you know that you're not alone. So for me, I started Beachbody in 2013, and I only had 1 baby at the time. And Beachbody was how I lost my initial baby weight. I gained quite a bit with it my first. I didn't know anything about health. Got connected because I wanted to pay for my Shakeology. I just wanted to pay for a bag, and it ended up becoming a ministry. It ended up becoming a business for me. And it grew much larger than I ever expected. I actually have a really large team because my coaches, it keeps going on the lines. They're amazing. And I just am really grateful to be able to lead these women. And so, I'm a 1-star diamond. I've lost diamonds before. But I just keep kind of go like that. And it can be discouraging for me, I'll be completely honest, but at the same time, I'm going to talk about this too, is that like my focus is to help women. My focus is to be home with my babies, and I'm not going to sacrifice my time with my family, for this business, but this business allows me to be with my family, and I'm going to continue to do the habits, the daily habits, I call it the grit, so that I can be there for my family, so that I can stay at home. We live in Colorado, and just to put it in like perspective, our home is not huge. I mean, I feel like we're really blessed with quite a bit of space, but at the same time, we're paying over $2,000 a month. And that's really expensive for, my husband works at a university. And so, but it's always been my dream to be a stay-at-home mom. And so I, at one point, was part of another MLM, and I hated it because I had to do parties, and I was just like, this isn't for me. And I tried to do both at one point before it wasn't an okay thing. And then Beachbody just became possible, and I started seeing things happen. And so there was something that happened to me, like, I don't know. It was probably the first month. I started coaching officially in April. I hit Success Club in July of 2013, and I haven't stopped since. And I remember Allie saying something about, like, hit Success Club, you do it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. And so I'm stubborn about that, but at the same time, I have my focus, and that's my family. But here's the deal. We are in ministry. It's important. Community is so important for me. My closest friends live around me. Taking care of my friends and family is important to me. Church and being present for our community is important. And I have 3 kids, and I run my own business and life. And so the thing is that like life is crazy. And so burnout happens for me. And I wanted to just kind of normalize it for you guys, because I feel like we often see coaches like Allie and even Melanie, like talking to Melanie today, because I know, like, I just felt like we had a heart to heart. It was like, hey, you get me, I get you. And sometimes we see coaches that are like, have done a lot of hard things, and we feel like, well, they're special because, and we like make excuses. I'm not special. I just stay consistent to my daily habits, and I keep sharing what's on my heart. I share truth. I share the things that I'm struggling with. I share the things, I don't share my mess necessarily, but I share the things that I've come through, and I share the things that God is using me for, or just whatever. And so that, that might separate me from other people, but at the same time, like, I've had to work super, super hard, and I continue to work hard, and I have to recognize that. And so I just wanted to normalize it, that I have moments of, I want to quit. I have moments of burnout. And that's something I'm very, very honest with my team about and with other people about, because I want you guys to know that those are normal feelings. And you know what? I was like, say this, you know, it's normal to want to quit. It's also normal to be hungry and want to eat a whole thing of pizza, right? Like I could sit down and eat a whole thing of pizza if I left, but I shouldn't do that. And I shouldn't quit either. Because my family's way too important to me, and God has not placed another opportunity in front of me to do something different. And I know he has me here for a reason, and that he continues to bless this business in a unique way. So I just wanted to first just normalize that. If you're feeling burnt out, it is normal and it's okay. But you have to recognize that burnout is not on anybody but you. Burnout is on you, babe. If we could retitle this whole entire thing, it'd be called Burnout is on You, Babe. Because we often get burnt out and we blame the business, we blame our kids, we blame our circumstances, and that's important to recognize that. Sorry, I want to make sure I'm not losing this. Is that we can't blame things and realize that like our burnout is because of our lack of self-care and what we're doing on the daily. When we are burnt out, I feel like there's three things we do. We blame something else. And here's the thing, when it comes to coaching, like, okay, blame the business, you're burnt out, but honestly, my kids can burn me out. Ministry can burn me out. Keeping my house clean, relationships, like being, you know, once my kids go to school, I'm sure that can cause burnout, and my kids are, you know, in sports, things like that. Like all of those things have potential to cause burnout, but they're not going to go away. And so we have to first recognize that we can't blame. Two, I think another thing that happens is that we push back and we isolate ourselves, which is not a good thing. We often, you know, feel like, hey, I'm feeling burnt out because of this, so I'm going to push it away because that feels good. And then the third thing we do is that we turn to something that either just feels good, it's comfortable, or turn to something that might seem easier at the time, but we know that it's not necessarily going to build an everlasting success, whether that is drinking or Netflix or quitting Beachbody and working at a simple job that seems so romantic because you just get to show up and you don't have to work late at night and you don't have to do anything hard. You just get to show up and get paid. Like I know we've all fantasized about it, but we all know that after the second week of that job, we're going to ask ourselves, there's more to this. And I always remember that. And so those are the three things we do. Okay. And I'm just going to come out you and just share 5 things that I personally do, things that I did this weekend, steps that I took, and recognizing that I'm burnt out. And if I continue on this path, if I continue to do the things that I'm doing, I'm not going to feel release from that burnout. I always say that you can't give from an empty cup. And I was empty. So I think it's really interesting that I'm talking about this today because I'm right there with you. So I guess the first thing before we go to those things is just, I encourage you guys to take a mirror to yourself and take ownership of your burnout. Burnout is on you, babe. Okay. So I just have 5 things that I do. There's a reason that I've survived for 4 years. There's a reason that I'm continuing. There's a reason that I haven't quit. I think I know it's not common for a mom of 3 kids to continue going, even though guys, I'll be honest, sitting at Summit this year, I was humbled a little bit. I'm like, I'm sitting here for my 4th year. I'm at Success Club 49 consecutive months and I'm only 1-star diamond. Like it's humbling sometimes, but at the same time, I just keep reminding myself why I'm here and what I'm doing and that God is sustaining me. So the first thing that when you're feeling burnt out or to avoid burnout, and this is our team motto right now, is #lean in. Lean in. Again, I told you guys, like when we're burnt out, we automatically go, you guys, you have to do the opposite of what your flesh desires. Our flesh desires pizza. We can't eat the whole pizza. We know it's not good for us. Our flesh desires to quit. We can't quit. Our flesh desires to push away. When you want to push away, that should be your trigger to lean in. That could look like leaning into your upline. It could look like leaning into another sister. If you don't have a success partner, please find one. Find one on your team or find someone on Team Thrive. Find a success partner. Go to great lengths to find one. My success partner, she is she is one of the reasons I'm still here, to be honest. She and I cry on each other's shoulders, and it's not like I'm depending on her. She depends on me, I depend on her. And it's really this equal partnership. I like, you lean on each other's backs and you're able to go stand up and down like that and you're not falling. Like, that's exactly what a success club or a success partner looks like. Someone that you feel comfortable talking to, someone who you can hold accountable, they hold you accountable, and you're going at the same pace to the same thing. You have to have a success partner. It is vital to this business. Like, add it to the 4 vitals, have a success partner. So number 1 is lean in. Call someone. Maybe you have a mentor. Maybe you have even just like, at my church, like there's people at my church that I can lean into. They don't know my business, but I can at least get wisdom from them. I'm struggling with this. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling not enough. And like today, this weekend, I was leaning into my success partner. I was leaning into my husband. I was leaning into some friends that are coaches and friends that aren't. I was leaning in hard. Okay, number 2, it's time to quiet yourself. We have so much noise in this world, and being on social media is so great and so awful at the same time. And so you have permission. I'm not telling you to close down social media for a month or a week. I'm saying 2 hours or a day. You have permission to delete the Facebook app or Instagram, whatever you're on. Whatever is causing you to do the constant scroll, you need to stop that, because it's not helping your mind. It's not helping your soul. It's not helping your heart. You have to pull back from that and set healthy boundaries for yourself. The quiet part is really hard. In fact, it's something I'm learning to do. My husband was like, on Saturday, we sat down, kids are in bed, and I did a little bit of personal development. I was listening to some stuff and we were talking about it. I like to listen. And so it was really good. But I was like, after 10 minutes, I'm like, I'm so tired. Like, this is my Sabbath. This is my rest day. I'm done. And so I went to turn on Netflix. You remember, like, when we feel burnt out, we can choose to do something easy and do something to numb yourself. And my husband was like, can you just be quiet? Like, can you just rest in that? I'm like, no, if I'm quiet, my brain, and I don't want to like think about it. And so ironically, I turned on Netflix and fell asleep. I needed to nap. I napped harder than I've ever napped in my life. I think the Lord just like shut her down. And the next day at church, our pastor was talking about his journey in quieting. And I have a whole book on it. I actually got to sit down with this mentor several years ago. I do the same thing you do, Melly. And I'm like, it's called, it's Jan Johnson. She's amazing. Just spiritual disciplines is really what it is, but it's just about being quiet. And I'm not going to talk too much about it because it's a whole other thing. But he just mentioned 2 things that I thought were super important. Was when you're being quiet, you have to quiet yourself. And anytime something comes into your mind, he says, God, you can have that. Okay, this person, she's disappeared. She's not coaching anymore. I haven't heard from her a while. God, you can have that. Man, I'm not at Success Club yet. God, you can have that. Whatever it is. My child is flunking at whatever. God, you can have that. Whatever is entering into your mind, like, give it to God in that moment. And recognize his goodness and his love for you. That's what I do. And so I don't know what your faith is like, if you believe in God or what, but at least try looking into some times and how to quiet yourself. There's so many resources out there. And even if you can't do the quiet thing, at least set boundaries for the social media to quiet yourself from technology, to quiet yourself from the crazy, and turn off Netflix. I got to do it too. I'm being honest with y'all. Check out from that. So, okay. Number 2 is quiet yourself. Number 3 is refill your cup. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And I don't know if you've heard that phrase. I say it all the time, but you have to do things in your life that are life-giving. I don't know what that looks like for you. I don't know if it's taking a walk, or if it's getting a good workout in, or if it's, for me this weekend, it was grabbing a glass of wine and reading a Jen Hatmaker book of Mess and Moxie, and also just soaking in our sermon this weekend. I don't always necessarily, I can't sit still very easy. And so this weekend I just said, I'm a sponge right now. I'm dry. I'm just going to soak this up. And I allowed myself to do that. That was very life-giving for me. I took my kids on a bike ride and ate a donut. And I took my kids on a bike ride and we went swimming together. Like, that was really life-giving for me. And I did a little Insta story and stayed off my phone for the most part. I wasn't scrolling. It was very life-giving for me to do that this weekend. And just be more present with my family and allow God to talk to me through people and his word and through books. And so that was life-giving for me. Maybe you like to paint or color. I know a lot of people are doing like those special coloring, whatever that looks like. But maybe Facebook and Instagram shouldn't be part of that, just saying. So do something to refill your cup. Number 4, pursue excellence over perfection. When we pursue perfection, you're only going to feel guilt, and guilt leads to shame, and shame is isolating. Shame is something that, in my opinion, the enemy likes to come in and just, when we feel burnt out and we pursue that like pushback feeling, and we're trying to be perfect, and then all of a sudden we're not perfect, we enter that feeling of feeling guilty and shaming. And I just feel like that whole feeling of not being enough, the thing about it too is like, I'm not enough. I'm letting my people down. I'm letting my family down. I'm letting my husband down. I'm letting my challengers down. I'm letting my coaches down. Like whatever that is, like I'm not enough. I can't keep up with my Facebook. I can't keep up with my house. I can't, whatever it is. I know y'all feel it. That is a trigger to saying that like the enemy's camping out and trying to tell you that, because that shame is isolating, and that's what they kind of like play back and forth. It's like ping pong, they're just playing back and forth. And so when you're pursuing excellence, you're pursuing to be better. You're pursuing personal development. I can tell you my top things that I've been just soaking in that has kept me afloat, kept me not afloat, just kept me alive. It's kept me thriving. And I feel like my heart, my soul, my mind, my knowledge is growing because of these things. But when I'm pursuing excellence, I'm able to say it's okay. I can walk in freedom and say it's okay that I'm not this, because I'm still qualified. I'm still equipped because God has given me the skills, and he loves me, and he sees me just as I am. And when you're pursuing excellence, you can let go of guilt. Just continue to be better than where you were. You guys with me? Good. I feel like I love this word. I've heard it from someone. It's called grit. And you actually said it today, Melanie. I think you did. Grit versus striving. I kind of think of like striving as like you're on like some really, really tough dirt, and you're just like trying to dig at this dirt, and you just can't get nothing's happening, and you just keep striving and you keep pushing, and you're trying to dig a hole, but you can't dig a hole, but you keep trying to dig the dang hole. Where grit, and so you're just striving, you're going, you're not like doing anything to help yourself. Where grit is about you're staying in this no matter what, but it might mean stepping back and like evaluating the situation and saying, well, maybe I need to like do something else here to dig this hole. It's a bad analogy, but my point is that recognize that we need grit. You have to stay in this. Like my grit is that I'll say when I was getting married, my papa, I remember this 10 years ago, he was like, he's like, don't make divorce an option. And I feel like I almost like took that mindset to other things. And don't make quitting an option. That's grit. And sometimes when we strive, we're just trying to make everything work, but we're not actually stepping back. That's striving. Striving isn't good. Grit is about sticking in it, but stepping back and taking care of yourself, pursuing excellence, pursuing healthy things, pursuing life-giving things, pursuing quiet and leaning in and reevaluating so that you can tackle the situation, but not giving up. Like that's what grit is. And cover that with grace too. Lots and lots of grace. So I don't know if I kind of like a little sub thing, but I put that next to excellence because I feel like that's kind of what that means is you're pursuing excellence. You're pursuing that striving comes with perfection. Like I'm just going to keep going instead of like stepping back and saying, I got this. So, okay. The last thing that I really encourage you guys to do, and I think it's kind of hard to do this when you're in the midst of burnout, but to do it when you're in a really good place, and to pursue it when you're in the midst of burnout is to put a fortress around your focus. You have to put a fortress around your focus, because we're surrounded by so many shiny things. If I just pursued rank, I would be miserable. I would be depressed. I would hate coaching. My family would probably be suffering. I mean, I know Melanie, you kind of talked about like some of those things too, just how you're feeling in that. And like, that in that pursuit, rank is important, and it's something that it's not off my radar. I do have some big goals, but there were things that I had to take off my beam. There's a Jen Hatmaker phrase, take off the beam while I raise my children. Like, my children are never going to be sacrificed for this job. So my focus is not necessarily rank. My focus is to love people well, but continue to provide for my family financially. And so whatever it takes to make that happen. And so, when there's people that fall through the cracks, or when there's people that, I see are struggling, like, it's my job to reach out to them, whether it's people that are customers or not customers. Like, I continue to make that my focus. And when I feel burnt out, that's when I give it to God. I say, God, take this team, take these challengers, take this person. I don't know how I can help them, but you do, and you can work through me. And because I have that mindset, I'm able to say that prayer, and that prayer in that helping those people, like, really honestly has kept this business alive. And so I just really encourage you guys, if you don't know your focus, to find it. And that might be like kind of tied into your why, like, why are you here? And I really encourage you to make it more about money, more than money. It can't be just money. It can't be rank. Because those are earthly things. And that's just my personal, I'm not going to put my goals on you. You need to figure out your own goals. You need to figure out what drives you and what makes you excited and passionate and come alive. And I guarantee whatever that is it's going to be tied to that. So, those are my 5 things. And guys, I'm just going to end it there. Burnout is real. Burnout is normal, but burnout is on you, babe. And I hope that these help you, and that you can recognize them. If you need to write them out and just keep them focused so that you recognize those moments and can fight it. You guys, thanks for letting me speak.
I'm shocked. Like, I needed this call.
I was shocked when you called me. I'm like, wow, because I had all these notes.
Wow. Let me, hold on. I don't know if anybody wants to chime in and say anything before we let Sarah go, but.
I don't mind if you guys ask questions either, or
clarification. Questions, comments, concerns, like, this is your opportunity to just say. Jocelyn just wrote on the chat, she says, thank you for your words.
You're so welcome, girl. You too.
Scotty, you gonna say something? I see you moving.
I'm just saying that I feel you, because everything you said is, I've been going through that, and I'm just giving it to God. I'm just letting him lead me, and I'm staying in the moment, in his presence, and being obedient to what he wants me to do. So I love that you share that. I appreciate it.
Casey, we all have the book Grit. I actually have a free Audible credit, or no, a free link where you can get it for free through Audible. So I'll send that to you in case you want to like share that with your team. So I like shared it with everybody, and I started the book. I didn't finish it for some reason, and this is like the 3rd time this week that I'm hearing about Grit. So I think I'm gonna pick it up, because I feel like I think it might be a chance. Like, it just goes right with your message, and it goes right with where my heart is at right now. And I'm giving myself permission to start over and say, that's it. Like, I'm a new coach. I'm starting brand new. What do I need to do to start? And I think that book is going to be key, definitely, based on what you shared tonight and the 3 things that I've heard before. So I'm going to give myself.
Yeah, I think that's so good. Pay attention. Amen to that. Pay attention to those things you see repeated. Like,
Hey, so have you listened to that book before?
I haven't. No.
Okay. So
I just see
share it with you, so you can download it for free and share it with your team.
I'll take it.
All right. So let me take a picture. All right. Picture time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, let me do it again, Jocelyn, because you came in. 1, 2, 3. Awesome.
Thanks for having me, girl.
Well, thank you for hopping on tonight, everyone. Thank you, Sarah, for just being with us tonight and sharing your heart and taking time away from your family to just share your heart with us. So I am getting ready to, put together a master plan based on your 5 points, seriously, and just start crushing it as of before I go to sleep tonight. I'm going to start with PD.
All right. Excellent.
So,
fill that cup back. Love you guys. Nice to meet you all.
Bye.
Bye.